the news we crave. Under neon lights we take a stand. Nights and wizards across the land.
Good morning, my spookies. It is your favorite member of the undead, the OGGM, broadcasting live, as always, from Site B, located somewhere in the mystical town of Fresno, Nevada, which does not, in fact, exist. It's Friday. It's time to take a look at all the tabletop role-playing game crowdfunder thingamajigs that are coming to an end this week that you might be interested in supporting. Gotta say, nothing really jumps out at me this week, but that's just me. You are free to make up your own mind. And while you're making up your own mind, why don't you take a second to hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification button so you always know when I'm posting, and consider supporting the OGGM with the holidays coming up. And there's a lot of ways you can do that if that's something you want to do. So please, moving on. All right. So this week we got something from Fabula Ultima. It's called the Celebration Edition Beastery Volume 1. And there is definitely something going on this cover. It's some kind of something being ridden by what looks like a shark with tentacles. This is definitely a fever dream, heavily induced by some narcotic, but it doesn't scream anime to me. It just sort of screams Lovecraft, actually. So this is $400. No, it's got to be 400. What does that symbol mean? Is that 400 yen? Anyways, it's 400 something, so I'm assuming $40 American for the PDF and print version of the books in the box set, plus the GM toolkit, plus the deluxe edition of the core rulebook, Beastery, 3 atlases, item pack, and dice set. That seems like a lot for $40, so maybe it is $400. No role-playing game is worth $400. So let's see. PDF and print version of the box set, DM toolkit, deluxe edition of the core rulebook, Beastery, 3 atlases, item pack, and a dice set. That sounds like $80 to $100. This is the latest in the $1 million tabletop role-playing game crowdfunding project, and yet nobody's heard of it until just now. Let's see. Based upon Fabula Ultima, which is still like in the top 5 selling on drive-through. So this game is obviously extremely popular, which is weird because, you know, when have you ever seen anybody actually play this game? But it's popular somewhere. It's constantly in the top 5. It's constantly winning awards. It's constantly hearing good things about Fabula Ultima. That said, if you want to sell me on a beast book about, you know, giant Japanese fantasy monster JRPG type stuff, Lovecraft Nightmare doesn't scream Japanese anime to me. You could have had a kaiju or a mecha or Ultraman or an Oni or a mecha or, you know, some ninjas or a mecha or a kaiju. Instead, you have this Lovecraftian acid dream that doesn't really say anything other than, what is this? Is space? No, sorry. That said, remember, when in doubt, make a book of monsters. I made a book of monsters. Anybody remember that? From Void Sea, from Loot Tavern, the Archvillain Games, and Titan Forge. What? Okay. It's a $100 PDF and digital version of 4 books, VTT bundle, maps, sheets, and more. Grimdark, Eldereth, Pirates using 5e. All right, I'm done with Grimdark. I'm just making that my New Year's resolution in Halloween. Well, Halloween used to be the New Year on the Day of the Dead when the year 2 died, before they changed the calendar. 350 pages of pirate-themed dark Eldereth pirates. I love pirates. I love Dinosaur Island. I love undead. I love undead pirate Dinosaur Island. It is my favorite setting. Don't know why I haven't written one yet, but probably because the best pirate dinosaur undead island game product already exists. That said, no, stop it. No more Grimdark. And $100 seems a lot of money for something that's kind of already been done. But congratulations on winning your $1 million crowdfunding project, though at this point, being a $1 million crowdfunding project winner doesn't really mean much, I guess. Anything, does it? I don't think so. I think most people would agree with me. But congratulations. Okay, I can't take that away from you, that you made $1 million on Kickstarter. I hope your game does well, even if I'm going to say no. But I'm just one person. So, don't take my negativity as the deciding factor in whether the game is good or not. You might love this game. I love the idea of this game. That said, I'm done with Grimdark. No more Grimdark. From Mammoth Factory, we have Dark Descent, Infernalism, and Blood Magic, a 5e Forbidden Tomb. Oh, trying to force stuff into 5e that has nothing to do with 5e. 5e is not a generic universal system. $259. Nope. $259 for the PDF and print version of both hardcovers, a GM screen, cards, dice, miniatures, maps, notes, VTT, and more. It's a campaign, offers 2 source books with over 400 pages of 5e content with subclasses, monsters, battle maps, adventures, corruption, horror, character. No, stop it. First, $259. No tabletop role-playing game is worth $259. Oh, I got a comment already. Make Happy Neon setting. I think that's going to be the next thing I work on is Happy Neon. Once I finish the project I'm working on now, because I'm just so dumb with Grimdark Cat. I don't care if it doesn't sell. Somebody needs to make a game that's about having fun again. It's a dark, grim world. I don't want to play a dark, grim game. Why am I playing post-Holocaust today on Dyslexia and Dragons then? I don't know, because post-apocalypse is fun. So $259, too much. Trying to make 5e something it's not, too much. I mean, we can talk all the crap we want about 5e 2024. 2014 5e works when you accept what it is. And I'm assuming the same is true for 2024 D&D. We could hate what Wizards of the Coast is doing with it, but just in regards to the actual system, not that I've had a chance to play it, and most of the games I've seen running it are just people trying to redo Critical Role, so I actually don't know anything about 2024 D&D. I'm going to assume that much like 2014 5th edition, it works if you understand the genre it's designed for. 5e works if you let it. When you try and make 5e something it's not, it doesn't work. But when you accept what 5e is and run it as written, it works. It's not for everybody, but I played in 2 5e games that were run exactly the way that was supposed to be work, and they were fun because we all accepted what 5e was supposed to be, as ridiculous as it is. So words you never want to hear in relation to 5e, horror. I'm sorry if I'm being a little mean today. I got no sleep and I'm recovering from one of the worst migraines I've had this year, but whatever. So maybe that is twerking my opinion of these. Look, I want these guys to sell. I don't want them to think I'm insulting them. That said, I've also got to be brutally honest at some points in time, because that's my job as a impartial news person. Money is tight. Nobody's going to spend $250 on a role-playing game right now, guys. Sorry, it's not going to happen. I wish you all the luck in the world, but it's not going to happen. Speaking of more grim, we have Vast Grim, Escaping Stasis from Creature Curation. This is $169 for a game that's already been written. This is freaking Mothership with Cthulhuid. It's Merkborg in space, okay, for $169. Nothing made for Merkborg is worth $169. God, OGGM, why are you so negative today? These people are going to think you hate them. I don't hate you. I love that you accomplished this. I 100% support that you threw your game out there and it passed Kickstarter And congratulations, considering I can't get anybody to invest in the game I'm working on. Congratulations. That said, no. Infectious horror, sci-fi horror. Space is trying to kill you. All right. Subcategory of I'm done with grimdark. I'm done with space trying to kill you role-playing games. There's either cold, hard, Traveler the Expanse space or ridiculous, fun Star Wars space. That's the only space we need. But that said, again, I wish you all the luck in the world. Well, it is spooky time, so here we go. We've got Horror Cinema Classics, the VHS or horror RPG you didn't know you were waiting for because it's already been made. This is horror from Wayward Studios. It's $60. You win! You win today for being the only game under 100. It's a 1980s VHS horror-inspired game. Is this the one that came in a VHS container? Because I remember a VHS-themed horror game that came in an actual VHS box, which, you know, is not that impressive because VHS boxes are like 100 for $5. So it's a role-playing game about horror movies, where you're survive a horror movie, and then you survive the sequel to the horror movie, and then you survive the remakes. Self-aware 1980s horror for DCC. I love DCC. It's one of my favorite retro clones. D20 level-based horror set in the VHS era of sure, why not? Especially since it's spooky time. Guess that's my game of the month. Cyberpunk Legends, the official Cyberpunk co-op card game from Night Grew Games. How can it be official if it's not from Artisolian? What does the official Cyberpunk even mean? You contacted Cyberpunk Studios and asked them if you could make a game about their product? You called Gibson? Is he still even alive? And said, hey, if we make a card game that's based on Cyberpunk, can you say it's the official Cyberpunk card game? And Gibson went, yeah, sure, fuck, whatever, leave me alone. I remember the movie that Gibson was in where he played himself. And somebody said, oh, this is William Gibson. He coined the term cyberspice. And deadpan sarcastic, he looks at the guy and says, yes, and they've never let me forget it. Probably not, because I think I'm one of the 5 people on the planet who saw that movie. It's $130 for a turn-based game and a stack of cards that is somehow cyberpunk themed. From EN Publishing, we have What's Old is New Beastery for the What's Old is New system. This is for What's Old is New, which is a generic system, which I think is based upon D6. I've heard some stuff about it, usually positive. So I don't know. It's $50. You win for just being $50. And even though it's for a very obscure system, you could never go wrong with a monster book, right? When in doubt, write a monster book. I don't know if anybody ever actually has played What's Old is New, or if anybody knows anything about it. I've never heard anything bad about it. Everything I've heard about it is usually pretty good. So there we go. It's Monsters for What's Old is New, which I think is a D6 system that's vaguely based upon West End Games D6, but I could be horribly wrong. But that is what I recall. If I'm wrong, please let me know. So just for being the only game this week that's $50, you win. Yes, get this game. How can you not love this genre? No. And I don't even know. But $400 is just too much. And this, I'm just going to say it again. This picture does not sell Japanese role-playing game to me. This picture sells Lovecraftian acid nightmare. You want to sell a beast book about a Japanese role-playing game beast? Mecha versus Kaiju. It's literally the blood line of JRPG fantasy. Ultraman fighting a guy in a rubber suit. That's what would sell your game. Anyways, despite all my inactivity, that's all the crowdfunders that are coming to an end. If any of those sound like something you want to support, I have included the link down below where you can get them, or you can ignore that and just support me instead, because nothing I have created is over $100. In fact, my games are $6, and no game I ever make will ever be $100. That's ridiculous. Charging you $20 for my games, as I feel guilty about. So, yes. And yes, I know I'm being extremely negative today. I apologize. Where's my normal happy self? Well, it's like I feel crappy bagging on these guys, but you're not offering me anything that I'm excited about, and I would want to sell people, because yeah. Anyways, that's all the Kickstarter type thingies that are coming to an end. So I'm not going to say anything more because I've just got nothing to say at the moment. Maybe I need some caffeine. Until next time, I'm the OGGM. Have a great Friday. Stay safe out there. We're supposed to be hitting by a tropical storm in California, but by the looks of it, nope. I don't know what part of California is being hit by the tropical storm, but it's not here. See ya.
Monsters lurking in the night. Heroes ready for the fight. Dice are clattering on the wood. Storylines misunderstood.